friend, friends, you are welcome. I am Olivia Robertson, and I offer to be your guide in the mystical awakening of the constellation of Cancer and of the dragon goddess Tiamat at the time of the summer solstice, when the sun enters that ancient constellation, time when souls descend into earth for earthly experience as they ascend in the sign of Capricorn. Now, if you like, you can turn off your tape just to get a glass of water, because I want you to drink one at the end of this session. I don't want you to lose consciousness, but you may feel a bit muzzy, so don't go into traffic for about half an hour. Meanwhile, I want you to be really comfortable and anoint your brow with a circle with water. This will animate your third eye, your psychic center. Good. Shut your eyes and see within her vision. You rise into the sky, out of your time and place, whether it be winter, another land, and certainly another time. You are a denizen of the future. I am a voice from the past. But now I leave the past and come to you, and with the sound of my voice, I bring you back in time. And yet this time relates to eternity, because this is a spiritual experience of consciousness. You now rise through where you are like a mist, and you travel to the magical era, Inishfoil, land of destiny. You see below you the green land of Ireland, and the sun is reaching its zenith, for this is the eve of the summer solstice. You hover over a wooded valley surrounded by 7 hills, watched by the blue Mount Leinster and the Black Stairs range of Leinster Mountains. Between 2 silvery rivers, the mother and the daughter, is an ancient grey castle. Moving from the north of the castle is the mother river. We can think of her as Tiamat, and joining her is her daughter, the tributary, the river Derry Oak, and we can think of her as the daughter of Tiamat, the beautiful goddess of love, Ishtar. And the castle is on the matriarchal tributary, as was the ancient custom in Ireland. As we hover over the castle, though, we are a little puzzled, because we begin to see with etheric vision, and we see a curious building, if building it be, to the west of the castle. It is a silvery roofed building, square, and its measurements are 80 foot by 80 foot. And there's an open space in the middle, and the roof gleams softly. What is it? It is disguised as a giant barn. What? But what is curious is this castle is also square, grey, ancient, and this looks almost belonging even to your future. And we see a line of rainbow-coloured power, for all the world like a dragon, moving deep from the castle. It's welling up from there, and we see a white light, which is a well. Now this coils widdershins, the path of the moon from right to left, swirling around. It comes out of the castle portico like a leaping lioness or dragon, and swirls around through an ancient yew walk, 600 years old, and it's swirling now in a great movement round the mysterious building in the west. It passes through a grove of trees. Now it comes near the building and forms a left to right dacial path of the sun round the building. And it enters it and forms another circle until there is a fourfold coil of the dragon whirling in this way. Solar power. So we see moon power and earth power from the castle moving one way in a helix movement, and a dacial movement of the sun in this other building, swirling from left to right. So we see a union of sun and moon. What is happening? What are the people doing on this solstice eve, the evening? Already we see a glimpse of the star of Venus, star of Ishtar, in the sky, and the pale form of the new moon in the west. Let us sink into the castle. We see a solemn crowd of people round the holy well. A lovely priestess wearing a silver crown and indigo robes draws water in a great pitcher from the well. Now we see a priest in a high silver headdress and flowing indigo robes lighting a basin of swirling incense, very large vessel. And we see other priestesses following this lady, each with her own pitcher. They draw water from this well, which is deep within an ancient temple of Isis. There's total silence, only the ringing of bells and soft music. Headed by two guardians of the temple, priests. They are now winding their way out past 9 columns through the very entrance where we saw this dragon power leave. They are bringing power from the temple to this other strange place. Now they follow the path of the dragon round through this dark yew walk. Priestesses and priests in indigo and silver robes. The priests are hooded. They move their way, and we notice the incense is carried and the smoke flows behind the priests. And the priestesses hold tenderly their pitchers of water, as if the water itself was holy, and it has been blessed. They make their way to the building with the silver roof. Let us come with them. They are rising up a very small hill, straight path, with a line of newly planted lime trees on the left, and on the right a wooded glade of oak trees. Now we see through the newly planted lime trees a wonderful panorama begins to show. We've left the deeply hidden wooded earth and water temple of Isis, and we're beginning to see the panorama of the blue Mount Leinster with its ancient cairn and 2 violet hills on either side and patchwork hills and Scotch pines. What a remarkable view. We realize that the silver building is oriented, or rather facing to the southwest. These mountains, the procession follows the path of the dragon 4 times, first outside the building. Then they enter. Come, what is in here? Do we expect an altar? What? When we enter, we are amazed. This is like nothing we have ever seen. There are 24 stone monoliths, standing stones within. At the 4 quarters, which are diagonal, there are 8 mighty granite monoliths that come from Normandy. So the power can come in an X shape from each corner. Now, there are 8 other monoliths arranged in twos, and these are square slate from Cumbria. And we can almost imagine an extraterrestrial entity phasing in on one of them. The whole place is so strange. However, we still follow the procession, forming the dacial dragon path of Tiamat. Round the centre are 8 standing monoliths in pairs, as if in solemn conclave, and these are from Ireland, black Kilkenny marble. We observe in the centre myriad-coloured stones, and a stone vessel which holds rainwater collected from the empty roof. In the west, we now see what we take to be a statue. It is a woman veiled in indigo colour. The priesthood and priestesses approach this woman and, still in silence, form a circle around her. She is seated on one of the low, flat stones. How strange. Then we realize that this figure is living, because a priest approaches her and offers incense. May we be granted an oracle of the goddess herself. Will she speak to us on this occasion?
Benign goddess Tiamat, mother of all creation, who went before light was separated from darkness, and all was one. Thou who didst give birth to gods and goddesses, Lady of the great deep, keeper of the tablets of fate, bring us knowledge of our origin, that we may live forever, surviving thy cycles of time and space.
There is a long silence. Suddenly, the entranced priestess is encompassed by the goddess, and we see the priesthood looking intently. The psychic ones see first like the shaking of atoms or steam from behind and above the priestess, then a glow of white light forming a cone of power behind the priestess. Now there is a sphere of light that hovers behind her and descends upon her brow, and she speaks. The dragon of darkness am I, shining with countless stars. Each turn of my body bringeth forth a new era of time, another sphere of space. Yet within my being do all these cycles survive in eternal reality. My first mighty serpent coil is that of the galaxies in the universe. Curled among these lieth the Milky Way, pouring from my breast. Guarded close to my heart is your sun, with 10 planets, and one of these is the sea-girt earth. My 7 star-crowned heads of Hydra are raised to the 7th heaven, yet they reach to the depth of the primordial darkness, from which all light emanates. From this underworld I create unceasingly from my own being. And my firstborn is light. Then from the spiritual world I give birth to the deities. And the first of these is the god Apsu of the sea, my consort. Next I draw from the depth all the elements, and from these form my brood made in mine own image. They come as whirling atoms and as microbes. They raise themselves to treetops as giant lizards born from my dragon shape. The great trees and the grasses are from my hair, my offspring, who bear my fish's tail, populate the oceans as Leviathan and the myriad colored fishes swimming between coral forests. I give birth to birds, for am I not bird-crested and fly with outspread wings? Howling storms echo my lamentation when my divine husband, the god Apsu, perishes in the cycles of time, to be born anew through my divine body. The 11 supernatural monsters who guard the gate of the abyss are my brood, as are the creatures of the zodiac. The centaurs and unicorns are of my zoomorphic offspring, as are the serpents who have my wisdom. You would know me? Follow me. I make the path of the serpent on the high roads of the stars. I glide smoothly, now to the left, now to the right, and I rise into the light of truth, and I sink into the depth of love. Swim in the oceans as I swim, and gallop with a horse over grassy plains as I gallop with my horse's body. Fly to your noblest aim as I fly with my eagle's wings. Love with your whole heart. Be as original as Omaroka, she who is myself, the woman who created all that is through the divine imagination. Life is one within the diversity of my manifold being. All dissension ceases. All probings are useless. Analysis, sciences, and systems of calculation are destructive when these divide my eternal being in the minds of men. For my true being may not be touched, save in the world of delusion. Split the atoms of my shadow body, and you injure yourselves. Dissect the least of my children, and you are left with a corpse, and you lose touch with your soul. Return to my immortal embrace that is as encompassing as the salt sea, and you will gain communion with all beings.
and in that communion is eternal peace and wisdom.
A silence is upon the companions. They give thanks to Tiamat, not with words, but with folded hands of love and thanks. Quietly now, still with burning incense and pictures, they form a circle around the empty space within this strange temple, and the first priest speaks.
Companions on the quest for occult wisdom hidden within the great deep, know that the sign of Cancer was reverenced in remote antiquity. In the 4th month of the Chaldean Duzu, it is the northern gate of the sun whence, at the summer solstice, it commences its retrograde movement. With Scorpio and Pisces, Cancer forms a watery trigon. To the Coptic Egyptians, this sign was the power of darkness of the jackal Anubis, guide of the dead, a deity of Sirius. It was known as the dark sign with no eyes. The ancient Egyptians knew it as Scarabaeus, the beetle Kephara that holds the mud ball of earth. Cancer is depicted as Saka, the water beetle of immortality, in the most ancient zodiac known, found in the Temple of Isis, in the Dendera Temple of Hathor.
A second priest speaks.
Cancer was held by the sages to be the house of the moon, as the moon was believed to have been in Cancer at the creation. It was respected as horoscope of the world, as the sign nearest the zenith. The learned Berosus declared that our earth shall be submerged when all planets are grouped in Cancer. The Chaldean Magi and the Platonists taught their disciples that souls descend from heaven into human bodies through Cancer, the gate of humanity.
Here it is my task now to declare the intention of this solstice ceremony. The intention is to blend the feminine, gentle rays of the moon with the overactive, masculine energies of the sun, so that the feminine sun, the warmth of the heart, be made more manifest, and the psychic powers of men in the moon be enhanced, so the balance of Cancer, the 6 and the 9, yin and yang, may be brought about. So the ancient ceremony of Aquarius, of the ancient Babylonians, is here enacted. Solemnly, the priestesses encircle the vessel of water, Widdershins, path of the moon, carrying their pitchers of water. They hold up their pitchers when they pass the new moon. Then I utter these words, we offer this libation of pure well water, sprung from the depths of our earth in our temple of Isis, in union with the god Apsu, so that goddess and God are one. At this time of the new moon of Cancer, at the summer solstice, so a new aeon is begun. At these words, the priestesses pour the well water into the rainwater that has been warmed by the sun for many weeks. And the priests lift up their incense bowls so that the swirling smoke rises into the sky. The first priestess speaks.
There is deep meaning concealed in the very sign of Cancer. 2 curved six forms, embracing each other, resembling the Eastern yin-yang symbol of positive and negative energies, moving in contrary cyclic paths of the serpent. Holding Cancer aloft in the sky is the 7-headed monster Hydra, sacred to the Chaldean dragon goddess of creation, Tiamat.
The second priestess now takes incense from a priest and offers it.
I offer incense to thee, to Tiamat, Thalassa of the primordial waters, the abyss before creation was, and from whom all things are born. Through thy magical transmutation, chaos was changed to space and time, and evolutionary hierarchies rise and fall, born of thee, and through rebirth return again to thy womb. The Gnostic sages acknowledge thee in the diagram of the Ophites, and see thy turning body as the 7 circles of archons, within thy Amaroka, mother of all existence.
Friend, let us join now the companions in a meditation upon the union of Tiamat and Apsu, sun and moon, space and stars, and on harmony with our own beings of action and gentleness, movement and stillness, love and truth. Let us meditate upon the dragon of creation. But as we meditate, we notice there is another power here. The swirling dragon is concentrated in the center, in the basin of water. And now a mighty 8-pointed star is formed that pours out through the 8 channels between the 24 stones. Thus shineth forth the star of Ishtar. The star of creation is with us. Let us meditate on these two powers, the gentle mother spiral and the creative power of Ishtar, Queen of Heaven. Friends, we are seated here in a circle with the companions in deep meditation. And as we sit, psychically, we see the great star of Ishtar beginning to rise. It is strengthened by the swirling coils of the Tiamat power, which is many-coloured. The star of Ishtar rises now up through the temple, and we see its rays penetrating out to the world, to the northern lands, to the lands of the east, to the south, to the southwest, to Mount Leinster. And we see the cairn shine forth in response, moves on, round again, west and north. Feel now this power rising up in your own body, rising, carried by the coils of Tiamat, so you're in perfect resonance, all your centres in harmony. The power joins the power of Ishtar, and if you have any intention for the world, any good, this is cosmic awareness, so send forth any good you would have for our earth in relationship to the mighty ones, Tiamat and Ishtar, and all beings of the constellation of Cancer. We see now the companions stand on their feet, impelled by this power, and they hold their arms up, first facing inwards to each other, hands up, and they too, like you and me, receive this holy power of Ishtar and Tiamat. We wish good to all, and we turn outwards now with our arms raised and send good to the 4 quarters, the 8 directions, with blessing. Now the company once more turn inwards, and the priestess, the first priestess, utters the immemorial hymn to the goddess Ishtar, which was used by the Babylonians thousands of years ago and still has its beauty and power.
O Mother of the Gods, O Lady of mankind, who maketh the green herb to spring up, who created all things, who guideth the whole of creation, O Tiamat, with thy daughter Ishtar, O thou whose side no god can approach, O exalted lady whose command is a might, a prayer will I utter. That which appears good unto her, may she do unto us all. O my lady, from the days of our youth upon this earth we have had and been much yoked to misfortune. Many have not eaten food, and weeping is their nourishment. Water is denied to many, and only tears are their drink. Our hearts never rejoice, nor are our spirits glad, until all creatures share thy bounty and thy blessing.
I offer incense to thee, to God Apsu. Aid us act with wisdom and justice in the domain we possess over this earth. And if the ruler does not give heed to justice, his people shall be overthrown, and his land shall be brought to confusion. If he gives no heed to the law of his land, the god Apsu and Ea, the king of destinies, shall change his destiny, and shall visit him with misfortune. If he gives heed to the commands of Apsu and Ea, the deities shall endow him with true knowledge and discernment.
So mercy and justice are now in harmony. The second priest puts his petition for ourselves.
We have sinned against the divine laws of nature of Tiamat and the wise laws of the god Apsu. Our deeds will we declare, our deeds which cannot be declared. O our God, who art angry, accept our prayer. O our goddess, who art angry, receive our supplications, and let thy spirit be at rest. O our goddess, look with pity on us, and accept our supplication. Let our sins be forgiven. Let our transgressions be blotted out. Let the band be torn away. Let the bonds be loosened. Let the seven winds carry away our sighs. We will send away our wickedness. Let the birds bear it into the heavens. Let the fishes carry off our misery. Let the river sweep it away. Let the beasts of the field take it from us. Let the flowing waters of the river wash us clean.
After this ancient prayer, the whole company follow the habit of the ancient Babylonians who used the mighty rivers Tigris and Euphrates, and they place their fingers in the basin of water in token of cleansing themselves from all the sins committed against nature and the promise of renewal. When they have done this, the second priestess offers incense, again to bring balance between incense, air and fire, and water of the earth.
I offer incense to thee, Selene, moon goddess of Cancer, that draweth the tides of the sea. And now, sweet-voiced muses, daughters of Zeus, well skilled in song, tell us of the long winged moon. From her immortal head a radiance is shown from heaven, and embraceth the earth, and great is the beauty that ariseth from her shining light. The air, unlit before, gloweth with the light of her golden crown. Her rays being clear whensoever bright Selene, having bathed her lovely body in the waters of the ocean, driveth her long-maned horses at full speed at eventide in the mid-month. Then her great orb is full, and then her beams shine brightest as she increases. Hail, white-armed goddess, shining Selene, mild, bright-tressed queen, bring us beauty and surpassing joy.
I offer incense to thee, Poseidon, god of the sea. I sing of Poseidon, the great god, mover of the earth and fruitless sea, god of the deep, who is also lord of Helicon and wide Aegae. A twofold office the deities allotted thee, O shaker of the earth, to a tamer of horses and a savior of ships. Help us as we voyage through the strange oceans of our lives.
I offer incense to thee, Anya, daughter of Dana, beautiful moon goddess of Iru. Still do thy devotees bring torches to thy hill at midsummer, as the sun enters Cancer. They ask to know their true love, gazing through thy ring. Bring us love and joy as thou didst to the Gaelic seer, William Sharp. I too have my memory of the one whom I call Star Eyes, and whom later I called Ban Murray Namare, the Lady of the Sea. I was not more than 7 when one day, by a well near a sea loch in Argyll, just as I was stooping to drink, my glancing eyes lit on a tall woman standing among a mist of wild hyacinths under 3 great sycamores. I stood looking as a fawn looks, wide-eyed, unafraid. She did not speak, but she smiled, and because of the love and beauty in her eyes, I ran to her. She stooped and lifted blueness out of the flowers as one might lift foam out of a pool, and she threw it over me. When I was found lying amongst the hyacinths, dazed, and, as was thought, ill, I asked eagerly after the lady in white, and with hair all shiny gold like buttercups.
Greetings to thee, moon of Anya, kindly jewel of guidance. I bend my knees to thee. I offer thee my love. I raise my hands to thee. I lift up mine eyes to thee, Anya of the seasons. Greetings to thee, Anya of the moon, darling of our love, darling of the graces. Lighteth up thy face for us, Anya of the seasons. Greetings to thee, Anya of the moon, darling of our love, darling of the graces. Thou dost journey on thy course. Thou dost steer the flood tides of the sea. Thou lighteth up thy face for us, Anya of the seasons. Queen of guidance, goddess of good fortune, queen of our love, we hail thee, Anya of the seasons.
The company now begin to do a most beautiful moon dance. The men enact the part of the sun of the coming solstice and move through these extraordinary monoliths from left to right. This is a practice dance, but you can imagine it if you feel like being the sun or the moon. The women choose to be the moon, the inner, and they dance widdershins from right to left, going in and around the columns, until with about 40 people we see an intricate pattern. Then, to make it more interesting, the men pick up the incense and we see the glowing embers and the smoke, and they circle around. However, now the men hand the incense to the women, who take it, and the women follow the path of the sun, Grania, the sun goddess, and the men follow the path of the moon, of Apsu and of space. So we see that men and women both use the power of positive and receptive energies of sun and moon in their own way. Join the dance, softly, gently, in your psychic body. This is no ordinary dance. As the dancers move, we begin to see they are using the energies of this place. Yes, they're working some rainbow pattern. Each aura glows with its own iridescent light. Rose, green, violet, blue, silver. We notice all the colours of a very muted, subtle shade not known on earth, like the colours of the rainbow, or colours of oil on water, the colours of a seashell. Feel this power now as you dance, circulating through you. Then we realise the little pool in the middle is joining the mighty sea of the New Age, the pool of Aquarius. The oceans of Aquarius come from the still pool of Cancer. A third priest speaks.
I offer incense to thee, Manannan, MacLear, sea god of Atlantis. We hearken to thy call, coming from the deep. I am the wind that blows over the sea. I am the wave of the ocean. Mine is the purple and green cloak encircling the western islands. I am he who creates in the mind of the poet dreams of long-lost beauty hidden in the depths. Mine is the magical boat, the roar that rides the waves. Who will come with me to the lost land of Tir-na-nog?
At this point, the company, who have expended considerable energy in dancing and receiving it, all sink gently to the ground to meditate, to contemplate. Let us visit the land of Tir-na-nog. We see that our dance has created a mighty halo of light all around this place, and we rise gently above it, you and me and the company. And we look down now on this place and the castle, and we see that it is Tir-na-nog, wherever the lonely heart calls for love, whenever the true seeker longs for wisdom. There is the eternal land of High Brazil, in a bed-sitting room, in a garret, in a terrible slum, in a palace, in a temple, in a glade of trees. There is Tir-na-nog, for it is in yourself. Feel it. You have found the magic key. Finding Tianano wherever you are, you bring it to others, for heaven is no heaven when one is alone. As we meditate, we know we are linking with the star energies of the constellation of Cancer. For though the universe looks big to us, it is only a part of the body of the goddess, as the atoms are to ours. So we may be in resonance with the zodiac, if we so choose.
Let us invoke the guardians of Cancer.
I hail the guardians of the two stars, Acubans, claws of the crab. May we be protected from all violence.
I hail the guardians of Arkushar Nangaru, head of the crab. May wisdom guide our circuitous path through the maze of our lives.
I hail the guardians of the beehive, with its 150 stars. May we be inspired to work for the good of all.
I hail the guardians of Tegmen, the crab's shell. May we enjoy the security of our homes.
I hail the guardians of Quan Y, the bright fire. May energy awake us from inertia.
I hail the guardian of Al-Taf, the glance. May we have vision of what is and what is to be.
At this point, the companions all gather round the central basin while the first priestess unrolls a star map.
Companions, let us contemplate the night sky of Cancer. Coiled through the primordial sea of stars, we observe the seven-headed monster, Hydra, the dragon Tiamat. Above her she holds the crab, the scarab which holds Marduk with Tiamat. But in the victory of man over nature, the conqueror pays the price. He loses knowledge of his immortal soul. Below Hydra is the unicorn, and Procyon, Canis Minor, the dog who is friend to humanity. Beyond Cancer shines the lynx, and the lion, and the bear, safe from the tumultuous sea of Tiamat. Yet we lick our arms. We taste salt. From the dark ocean we come. Let us now, in deep contemplation, return to our origin. For only in originality do we truly find our true selves, born of the mother of all.
Yes, you matter. Without your own peculiarity, your originality, the mother goddess is incomplete. Let us turn now and find to be pleased we are different, because that difference is the goddess. It doesn't matter laughing. Why do we try to be so high? The goddess has toenails. alas, we must come back. The companions are slowly coming back from contemplation. The first priest offers thanks.
We give thanks to Tiamat and Apsu, to Selene and Poseidon, to Ornia and Manannan.
But as the rest of the priesthood give thanks, their voice seems rather to disappear. Is it because everything's getting a bit dark on this night of the summer solstice? Or why is everyone looking so shadowy? What are they doing? They are forming a procession in reverse way to the way they came. They are leaving, and now we're rising a little above them, so we watch them as a beautiful procession forming the coil of Tiamat, fourfold, on the path of the moon. And we come out of the temple, and we see their line is following the dragon. But this time they are dispersing the star of Tiamat, which is still there as a glow in the sky. And we see the moon is strengthening, and a few stars are appearing. And we know of this longest day of the year that the sun will shine as Gloria, the sun goddess, with her consort, the sun god, and all has the peaceful harmony of Tiamat. And the procession follows the path of the dragon, and we rise into the air to enjoy it better. We guess now that they're going to follow the sun path back to the temple. But what are they bringing with them? They have relighted the incense, and the damsels, the priestesses, have filled their pitchers with rainwater mingled with well water from the temple, so there is true exchange. We see the procession re-enter the temple of Isis, and we look down upon the castle, and we rise, and we see much brighter light on the path of the dragon. It is gleaming and shining, and the star of Ishtar is rising into the heavens. It hasn't disappeared, but it's dispersing to bring light to all who are tuned to us, to the good in all faiths and all peoples. But what about yourself? Why not come back now, bringing this light within you to your own time and place? You return to your own body and make a sound to come back. That's it. Come back like a hand slipping into a glove. I'm Olivia Robertson, speaking from Clonigall Castle, and there is with us Lady Morgan Le Fay of the Veiled Lyceum of Atlanta, of the United States, with her friend, Lady Shasta Zering of the Cosmic Isis and Sekhmet of Atlanta, and Kent Benedict, priest and husband to Morgan Le Fay, and my brother Lawrence Durden Robertson, and we all send you love and blessings, attuned to us any time, especially at dawn and dusk, from the Fellowship of Isis, Clonigall Castle, Enniscorthy, South Ireland. Now, you might like to hear where you can really study these things in depth. It's so much better to go back to original texts of what people really said than have sort of peptonized, whatever you call it, altered stories from other people. Babylonian Religion and Mythology, Keegan Paul, the last is 1899, you should get it somewhere. The Religion of Babylonian Assyria, Theophilus Pinches, Constable, it's 1906, you can get it more modern. Babylonian and Assyrian Religion, S.H. Hook, Blackwell, should get that. You can get this. The goddesses of Chaldea, Syria, and Egypt. Idols, images, and symbols. Chaldea and Syria by Lawrence Durden Robertson from our own Cicero publications. And Hesiod, Homeric hymns, translated Evil and Right. You get that at Heinemann or Harvard. A Celtic miscellany, Hurst and Jackson, that you'll be glad to hear you can get modern. Rutledge and Kegan Paul. And the wonderful myths and legends of the Celtic race, Wollaston. Of course, needless to say, ours is 1911, but it has been reproduced. So do try and always turn back to ancient texts. The mythology is veiled truth. Ave et vale, hail and farewell.